Everyone's got theories. I don't reckon mine hold much more weight than anyone else's.
Okay, but you could share those theories with me. I don't know any of the theories, right? Well, I've got one theory of my own, but I don't know what anyone else's theories might be. I didn't even know about this Prophets of Profits until just now. I'll leave you to it. Right, Felix, Nyoka, I'm very sorry. Holiday's over. Looks like we're working after all. Grand Ballroom. Okay.
Black Hole Bertie's disappeared, you know. That poor fellow must be inconsolable.
Sorry, how long has this murder... How long ago did the murder happen? Because I noticed her body is still there. Sorry, also, we're coming through, if you don't mind. Hello? There? Is this...
Oh, thank the law.
Oh, it's you!
Inspector, you don't know how relieved I am to see you.
Constable Keene, a pleasure as well. Of course, we spoke over the Aether Wave. As much as I do enjoy a drink with a little umbrella, now is probably not the time to look for the bar. I suppose we do formal introductions, do we?
Constable Maria Keene. It's good to meet you in person, Inspector.
And you?
Dr. Goodnight. Ecstatic to make your various acquaintances and so on. Are we finished with the pleasantries? There's something I'm excited to show you.
It's not going to be the body, is it? Please don't tell me you're excited to show me the body. Well, if I'm going to be an inspector, we might as well make the most of it and get into the role. What have you got for me, Doctor?
An extraordinary contraption. You'll love it.
Our coroner has developed a device which may prove useful in your investigation.
Is that
Our
so?
office has instructed her to hand it over to you.
Our office has instructed her to hand it over to you. Oh, please. You make it sound as if I'm turning over stolen goods.
Oh, I like her.
Behold, my
It better not be
discrepancy
stolen.
amplifier. Hold it in your hands. Feel the way it hums with ontological potential.
Ontological potential, yes. I, of course, understand all this, but for the constable's sake...
I'm so glad you asked. Allow me to explain. The discrepancy amplifier uses a deterministic model of our universe to detect the discrepancy between what should be and what actually is. Then it renders any discrepancies visible by using the power of magnification.
This sounds something like the OSI teachers. Maybe I should have brought Max after all. So it's things that are against things that should be. So in layman terms, for the non-inspectors among us, it's like a magnifying glass.
Yes, it's a magnifying glass, but an extraordinarily powerful one. It looks through the glass of reality
But still a
itself.
magnifying glass.
I'm contractually prohibited from endorsing off-brand technology, but I'll bend that rule just this once.
Okay.
You'll want to peer into the amplifier and examine the crime scene.
Oh, okay. Greetings, Inspector. Thanks to the half-genius, half-mad scientific mind of Dr. Goodnight, you've been granted the Discrepancy Amplifier, a handy investigation device for uncovering clues throughout Eridanos. Be sure to equip the Discrepancy Amplifier in a weapon slot before you continue your hunt for Helen's killer. Right. So, I'm gonna replace my sniper rifle for the moment. Scanning Eridanos for evidence. To catch Helen's killer, you'll need to use the Discrepancy Amplifier's scope to reveal clues not visible to the naked eye. Once you've located some evidence, aim directly at it while zooming in with the scope and press the Interact button to analyze. Okay. Well, it's big. Right. Oh. Doctor... What? Okay, right, analyzed Helen's body.
The discrepancy amplifier is now operational. Greetings, designated inspector and/or unauthorized larcenist.
It's
This
a
unit
fine
has
line.
detected a discrepancy related to Halcyon Helen. Unscheduled expiration of. Begin amplification?
Yeah, well... I see you've been designed with a modular analytical system. What else can you do?
The discrepancy amplifier has been programmed with advanced speech recognition, scientific analysis, and deterministic calculus protocols.
Oh, you'll love this. Amplifier, tell the inspector about your features.
Please do not interrupt the discrepancy amplifier.
Oh.
The discrepancy amplifier is programmed to take instruction from its registered or designated inspector.
How curious. I must have set its impertinence levels to flagrant.
Can we
This
do
unit's
something about
features
that?
include an automated personality simulator. This unit has been programmed to simulate joy and satisfaction in assisting you.
I think we should introduce you to Ada. I think Ada would get along with you just great. Look, tell me about the discrepancy you found. I'm noticing she scrawled B on the floor. So what was her beau's name? Something Black Hole Bertie or something?
This is a bottle of unreleased Rizzo's product. Helen appears to have attempted to use it to spell something as she expired, but all she managed was a sticky B.
Right. I never really thought vodka was sticky. Actually, no, when you get alcohol spilt on a surface, the bar tops are always sticky, aren't they? So, this unreleased Rizzo's product, this is that new vodka brown, is it?
Rizzo's Spectrum Brown has not yet been released for consumption. Spectrum Brown was scheduled to be unveiled at the Eridanos Atmosphere Complex in partnership with Halcyon Helen.
Okay. And what if the B stands for Spectrum Brown?
Now calculating likelihood of Halcyon Helen using her final moments to endorse Rizzo's Spectrum Brown.
I mean, when you say it
Low
out
to
loud...
moderate likelihood.
Yeah, when you say it out loud, it sounds a bit silly. Black Hole Bertie, he was staying here, right? But I heard he's disappeared.
I was wondering about that. Before we arrived, I heard something on the aether waves about Black Hole Birdie taken up at the Grand Colonial.
Okay.
Correct. Bertie Black Hole Holcomb is a registered guest at the Grand Colonial Hotel.
Anybody else I should know about that's got a B in their name?
Accessing guest database B. The Grand Colonial Hotel is proud to serve the following VIPs. Bertie, Black Hole. Burbage 3001.
Burbage 3001? Wait, so what's Burbage 3001? Is Burbage's room? Okay, Amplifier, make a note of this for later. Do you do notes?
This evidence has been recorded for later reference. Now generating pre-approved complement. Splendid work, Inspector.
Oh, I like the discrepancy amplifier. Thank you. Right. So, discrepancy amplifier... Is discrepancy amplifier sentient? Oh, there's footprints. Right, sorry, Dr. Goodnight.
I know you're eager to tell me what you found, but I'm waiting for the grand reveal.
Okay.
The moment when you discover some critical piece of evidence.
Right, so you want that aha moment. Actually, I did actually want a word. I promise I won't spoil my reveal to you, but I do need to do a thorough job of investigating.
I was waiting for this. Yes, of course. I'm only too eager to cooperate.
Okay, let's not be too eager to cooperate, because that's normally a sign that you're the killer and you're trying to mislead my investigation. So, what was the cause of death?
Our leading lady must have riled up someone. Her wounds from cranium to metatarsal are as follows. A blow to the head, severe enough to lacerate the flesh.
Oh.
Followed by a suite of plasma burns down the neck and back, signs of poisoning, evidence of inanition and desiccation, possible signs of jaundice, some shingles, one malformed toenail.
I don't think that's relevant. Let's stick to the most likely cause of death, but it does seem like somebody doesn't know the definition of excessive.
Indeed. It seems like our perpetrator was trying to make a statement. Personally, I would have written something like, "You'll rue the day you made me lance the prophet of profitability's back boils in blood on the walls." But I digress.
Sorry, was that a
The short
personal
version is this.
experience?
Helen was killed by poison, a blow to the head, and a plasma weapon. Possibly more.
Okay. I will bear that in mind, but I'm wondering if maybe there was actually more than one killer. Poison, a blow to the head, and being shot by a plasma weapon. I assume it was shot and not sort of like some melee plasma weapon. So is Spectrum Brown poisoned? I'm just curious now, but I know I'm not going to get any more information from you. Right, I'll bear that in mind. There is one more thing.
I am, of course, at your service.
Of course. Well, a little bit about you. How did you end up designing this, frankly, spectacular device?
Oh, why, I'm flattered, Inspector. Let me think. I've worked at the Grand Colonial for about as long as it's been around. Prior to that, I lived in Byzantium, but I always felt like it was missing something. And that something turned out to be corpses.
Oh no.
Byzantium has much in the way of luxury, but examining the dead does not rank amongst the preferred activities of the elite.
I found a whole room of corpses once on Byzantium. It's just a matter of knowing where to look. Well, it certainly sounds like you enjoy being a coroner.
Absolutely. Usually I'm just a medical practitioner, so I almost never get to deal with anything as unique, or as quiet, as a corpse. The most interesting thing I saw prior to this was the back of Mr. Woolrich's throat after he blew out his vocal cords shouting at an attendant.
Oh,
If I weren't
charming.
here, I'd be back in my quarters, rewatching Byzantium in the spring, or working on my automatic sprat peeler.
So you're what? Your automatic sprat peel. You go from creating this discrepancy amplifier which sees through reality as it should be and how it compared against how it is, and then also you're peeling sprats. Are the sprats alive? Please don't tell me the sprats are alive. They are too adorable to peel alive. Speaking of inventions, I'm curious about the discrepancy amplifier.
Oh, good. One of my favorite subjects. Ask away, my dear. Ask away.
Why did you make it talk? Also, what happens if I break it or lose it? Because, frankly, things around me tend just to go a bit, you know... it hits the fan. It hits the fan very often, and it hits the fan quite spectacularly.
I still have the blueprint and several extra prototypes floating around, but I might recommend you try to be careful with it.
Yes, no, I will
Some of the
try.
amplifier's internal components are rare, shall we say, and I don't have an indefinite supply.
So what was that pause? What made you... Well, I kind of want to know what's in the amplifier now. It seems very powerful, though. You are entrusting me with a very powerful device.
Because you're the inspector. I should think that's rather obvious.
You could come around with me. A little local knowledge of the area wouldn't hurt. You could be using the device yourself. Put it in the hands of the expert.
I invented the discrepancy amplifier to assist me in my own medical work. When you were hired to investigate Helen's death, I realized I had my own part to play.
Oh,
I programmed
see.
the amplifier to assist you. I'm entrusting it to your care because I want to see my invention help a brilliant inspector solve the murder of the century.
And you want to ride upon my coattails while I put in the hard work of solving the murder of Halcyon Helen. That's it, isn't it? You want your name as a little footnote of history.
You don't miss a thing, do you, Inspector?
If I ever
I can
do,
see why the
voices tell me
constable
that I
recommended
have.
hiring you. Think of the amplifier as my gift to you. May it avail you in the swift and efficient prosecution of justice.
So, not only did the constable recommend hiring in a third party, they recommended me specifically, did they? So you made the amplifier to help you with, what, diagnosing people and their medical conditions, seeing what's wrong with them compared to what shouldn't be wrong with them?
I didn't expect an existentialist question so early today.
I do ask a lot of them.
A need. Just as sprats feel they must breed, or canids feel they must brutally maul each other, I feel the need to create.
It's more than that, though, isn't it? It's not just the need to create, it's the need to be remembered for being a creator. That's why you've made this device available to me for use in my investigation.
Inspector, I'm sure you don't want to spend 4 hours talking back and forth about the intricacies of a science project. It works. That's the important part.
The details will be lost on me, to be fair.
You sure you don't want to know anything else? Oh, all right. We can change the subject.
You're the one who shut me down. You're the one who shut down the, tell me how it works. You're like, oh, you don't want to know how it works. That's not important. And you shut it. You can't have a go at me when you shut that topic down, right? Let's talk about the discrepancy amplifier.
Oh, good. One of my favorite subjects.
Oh, no, we did
Ask
talk
away,
about...
my dear. Ask away.
Sorry, we did talk about this.
You sure you don't want to know anything else?
Yes, no, it's fine.
Oh, all right. We can change the subject.
Yeah, I'd better keep investigating. I think you're eccentric enough that you may well have orchestrated this murder simply for the chance to show off this device when you realize this potential. Right. There are footsteps. Let's talk to Constable Keene.
Seems you found something.
Well, the
Residue from a spill. The amplifier said something about, bee.
I mean, couldn't we just see that on the floor? I mean, surely it's not Black Hole Bertie, is it?
Bertie Holcomb. I hadn't considered that. The two of them were in a relationship prior to Helen's death. I'll make a note of your discovery. Thank you, Inspector.
Okay, maybe you're not quite as competent at your job as I thought. Oh no, it doesn't actually... Right, okay, so the bee is only visible through this. Okay. Is it too late to go check into my room? Because I think I might actually be getting rather distracted. And also, if Helen stayed in that room before, I kind of want to take this up to it. Right, analyze these footprints.
This footprint stands out from the normally spotless floor of the grand ballroom. Typically, the ballroom is cleaned twice daily, which means this must have been made by either Helen or her assailant or assailants.
I mean, it only looks like one set of footprints. Discrepancy amplifier, do the size of these footprints match anything you have on record? I don't know if that's going to be useful, but it's probably going to be more useful than getting down and tasting the dirt. I mean, I don't know what he's been walking in. He could have been walking in all sorts. I just more really want to know, are they Helen's footprints?
Footprint is a tailor-made 8.75, suggesting that its owner was very particular about their shoe size.
I mean,
it
I
is
haven't.
also the exact size that Halcyon Helen typically prefers. There are traces of dirt throughout the footprint.
Yes, can you analyze the dirt without me having to taste it?
The dirt carries traces of fertilizer, as well as the faint signs of crushed purpleberries and grass. Grass, fertilizer, and purpleberries can all be found in the purpleberry orchards, located not far from the Grand Colonio.
Okay. So Helen must have clearly been at the orchards before she died, and she was seen going somewhere with the prophetess of prophets.
This deduction appears sound.
Thank you.
Good work, Inspector. I had a feeling we'd make some progress once we brought you onto the case. You'll need Administrator Ludovico to grant you access to the orchards.
You mean Lou?
Contact him through the secure access terminal in your penthouse suite.
Okay.
Check in with the concierge. Your room should be ready by now. If it isn't, I may have to go shake someone by the collar.
I will let you know. I will certainly let you know. Also, you really could have done this much at least, simply testing out the device. I mean, surely you tested it to see if it was configured correctly. You would have seen these footprints in the bee. Also, Felix, please don't stand on her body. She's only carrying 63 cartridges. Let's not... Felix, that's it, walk around. There we go. Let's not loot the corpse. Spectrum Brown. I am going to be pointing this. Samples will be billed to your room. Right, well, okay, we're going to get billed to the room. Let's pick up some Spectrum Brown. Okay, and what does it do? If it's brown, drink it down. You'll be happy that you did. I don't think that I will. So the newest Spectrum flavor adds brown to the rainbow. Brown vodka blues, strength +2, charm +2, base health. Oh, bind attributes -2 and -2 dexterity. That's not a good drink, I don't think, unless I'm getting physically violent. Right, I am gonna need a fix in a minute. How am I doing for things that give me mind attributes? Because I also might need those. Okay, and what else do we want? I think, just for the moment, let's just do the mind attributes. That goes back outside. There was a back door then. Is there another back door? Over here? No, right. Okay. Need a fix. That's better. Okay, where does this door go? Does that lead to a kitchen? I assume it's going to lead to a kitchen.
I knew I should have gotten her autograph when I had the chance. Look at these people, gawking over Helen's corpse. Bunch of parasites.
Yeah. Right, Inspector here. Clear out. Get out the way. Show is over. Go on. Get back to your rooms. You're not going anywhere anytime soon, and if you get in my way, you're only going to hold up my investigation. Refreshments.
With Halcyon.
What's over here? Concierge. Okay. What else have we got? You know what? Let's just go to our room. Let's go to our room first of all. Right. And...
Hello there, my inordinately esteemed guest. If my hello were any more earnest, this loudspeaker would explode.
It's too earnest.
Oh dear. I'm sorry, but you don't seem to have a registered room key. If you've lost your key, why don't you pay the hotel concierge a visit? I'm sure she can get you a new one. Then you can come back, and I'll service all of your vertical needs.
Okay then, let's quickly just nip to the concierge so we can have our vertical needs service by picking up the key. Right, that's just over here, is it? And if you do excuse me, I am having flashbacks of the last time I was stuck in a queue at the post office. They had me going window to window. So, Concierge Holston.
I'm sorry, sir, but while the hotel is an active crime scene, I regret to inform you that all new bookings, room upgrades, room downgrades, and in-room massages
No, sorry,
are
I'm the inspector.
Oh, you're the special inspector.
Yes, that's me.
Buchanan warned me you'd be checking in soon.
Warned you? So he warned you. Is that just a poor choice of words? You happen to have my room key, do you?
Ah, yes. We are most pleased to offer you our grandest of grand accommodations, Inspector. The penthouse suite on our topmost floor is now available for you.
Now we're talking.
The last guest left her belongings behind when she vacated unexpectedly, so we needed a little time to tidy the suite up for you.
Right, so that's...
Simply call the elevator in the lobby, and our highly skilled operator will deliver you to your private floor with efficiency and cheer.
Yeah, no, it's probably too much cheer. So, okay, so you're talking about unexpectedly vacating as in Halcyon Helen was murdered, rather brutally. You do have some high-profile guests here. What can you tell me about them? Particularly the Prophetess of Prophets and Black Hole Bertie.
My apologies, Inspector, but that would be a severe violation of guest privacy. We here at the Grand Colonial firmly believe that...
Yeah.
All right, my supervisor just walked out of earshot.
Oh.
Some folks just don't understand the importance of gossip.
Oh, I do.
About whom? And what would you wish to know?
All of it. I want to know about all of it. Right, okay. Where do we start? Did you notice anything about Halcyon Helen before she died?
You know, out of everyone here, I probably knew the least about Helen.
Oh?
I'm not much of an Aetherwave watcher myself. And Helen always had a crowd of admirers chasing her, you see. So she rarely stopped to chat. Friendly enough, surely, but always seemed untouchable. Emphasis on seemed.
Yes, certainly not that way anymore. So she was closer with some people than others.
Everyone wanted to be around Helen. She could usually be seen alongside Bertie or Woolrich, for obvious reasons.
Yeah. It must be tiring being chased around by a mob of adoring fans all of the time. You just wouldn't have any personal space. But I've heard Black Hole Bertie was staying here. So if he and Helen were dating or seeing each other, didn't they share the penthouse suite, or did they have separate suites?
Bertie. Is he bigger than he is dumb, or dumber than he is big? I've a bet with a friend. Not sure we'll ever get it to pay out.
Oh,
Bertie
okay.
used to be Helen's beau, though he isn't anymore, and not just because she's dead. If I had 1,000,000 bits, I'd spend every one just to learn what caused their split.
Oh. So they split up then? Right, okay. And so I'm wondering, if you emptied out the penthouse suite of Helen's belongings, what have you done with those belongings? I would quite like to have a look at them, actually. And also, that seems detrimental to the investigation that you've cleared out her room before I could go to stay there. I mean, surely you could have put me up in some other room and not contaminated potentially part of the crime scene. So, right, okay, the productivity guru. What's her deal?
Her deal? Not making them. I'd laugh at my own comment, but everyone knows there's no bigger joke than the prophet of profitability herself. Didn't you
Okay.
hear Helen's interview? That woman is the definition of humbuggery. Anyone who gives her the time of day is a right fool. I mean, Spencer Woolrich has taken several of her productivity seminars, and look where it got him. Don't waste your time.
Right, so her interview really had a big effect, and Woolrich, the co-star, he might have a grudge against the prophetess of profitability, but why would he have a grudge against Helen?
If looks could kill, he'd have put her in the ground 10 times over. Man's clearly jealous of her success compared to his.
Right.
See, I'd bet we're the only two people thinking about him in all of Eridanos. And I only am because you mentioned his name. If you leave woolly cow milk out, it turns to curds. Leave the curds out, they begin to get stale, then rot. Woolridge is on his way to the trash bin, and everyone knows it. Either he's in denial, or he knew Helen would be checking out soon, judging by his increasing demands for a room upgrade.
Okay. Perhaps a crime in the heat of the moment? But, though given what's at stake, that feels like too shallow of a motive. Right, that's enough gossip for now.
That's a shame, Inspector. What if I wanted to know a little about you?
Given the amount of running around, zipping about around this colony I do, I'm surprised you've not heard about me already, but, you know, I'm a typical freelance captain, changing the colony one high-stakes encounter at a time, usually with my life on the line.
A dashing gunslinger type, then.
Oh.
I'm sure the investigation will turn out splendidly in your hands. Or at least Mr. Kincannon seems confident enough to believe so.
Does he now? See, I get the feeling Mr. Kincannon would rather see me manipulated to get the outcome he wants. That's my impression. Not that I've really spoken to him one-on-one yet. But the Grand Colonial, it sure is interesting. Gotta give it that.
It certainly is a marvel of modern ingenuity, luxury, and ambition. Please, allow me to answer any curiosities you might have about our building and the amenities on offer.
Well, what does the penthouse have to offer?
Twice the size of the next biggest room, and kitted out with any amenity you want, as well as many that you won't. Best to enjoy it while you can, Inspector. Typically, the only people who can afford the penthouse suite have enough bits to suffocate everyone on Terra 2.
Ah.
Also, please inform me if Woolridge gives you a hard time about getting a better room than his. Don't tell him I said this, but everyone on staff wants to strangle him.
So he's a difficult customer, then. I do kind of want to go have a word with this Woolridge. I want to have a word with everybody. Look, I'm a really nosy person, you gotta know. I love that you call me a dashing gunslinger, by the way. That really does stroke my ego. But I am also nosy as high hell, and it's usually the reason I end up in all these high-stakes encounters. Anything else special about the upper levels I should know?
Most certainly. All the important folks can be found in the upmost parts of the hotel. You can hardly walk 3 feet without bumping into a tossball grate or a bored exec. Though maybe don't bump into them. Could be harmful to your health.
It's harmful for the board exec's health if they bump into me, I'll tell you that much. They don't often survive the encounters. Nobody seems to talk much about the lower levels of the hotel. I understand that's where our bellboy should be sleeping, but clearly he's not.
Who would be interested in a staff-only area? Most folks never ask about the sewers beneath Arizo's plant, either.
Okay, sewers beneath the plant, pretty standard, but now I am considering wading through a sewer. Lucky us. But you don't lump yourself in with the other workers, do you?
Oh no, Inspector, sir. I live down there too. But that doesn't mean I plan to abide in the bowels of the Grand Colonial forever. The best thing about Sublight compared to other organizations is the potential for upward mobility. We bottom rungers get in, do our job, do it well, then move up and on. This is but one rung on the grand ladder of life, you see?
Okay, so how long have you been on this rung, and how's that upward mobility going for you? I think that's enough about the hotel.
If you're sure.
Yeah, I do kind of want to get to my room. I'll leave you for now. But don't you worry, I will be back for gossip. You can count on that. Right. The room. How... Okay, this is awfully a tall building. Right, let's try the elevator.
What floor would you like to visit?
Yes, I'd like to visit the penthouse suite.
Next stop, the finest seat in the house.
Ooh. Oh, hello. Oh, you're all here. Hello. Whose clothes... They kind of look like Max's clothes. Whose clothes are these? Sam? Kind of wish you stayed on the ship. There's... I kind of feel bad about leaving Ada behind. So, Ellie.
You think they'll let us expense the booze?
Yes. Probably yes. Actually, no. No, definitely not, no. But go for it, why not? Let's treat ourselves. I'll expense the booze. Nyoka? Nyoka, I'm not expensing the booze. I know how much you drink.
You think they'd object to me setting up a tanning station here?
A tanning station? Well, probably not. I'm sure they're used to all sorts of eccentric requests. So join us for the Profitability Seminar, a flyer promoting a productotherapy seminar with a renowned prophet of profitability, Jasmine Laver, at her retreat in the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. Under her patented system, purge your body of nefarious humors, stopping you from unlocking your true productive potential. Right, and Sam, we gonna have a word?
Sam's Special Inspector add-on includes a magnifying glass to sleuth out the germs and parasites that other cleaning products leave behind.
Yeah, cool, sure thing. Pavati.
You think June Light would like this place?
Oh.
Oh, probably not. I don't think she cares much for corporate comforts.
Yeah, I think she would miss the hum of the ship, quite like you. I'm wondering if we can get Ada on the terminal. Contact Administrator Ludovico. No, we're gonna leave Cheeky Lou for now. I refuse to call him by his full name, he's just gonna be Lou. I want to have a look around and see what we've got, and Max, I'm glad to see you're still wearing clothes.
I sometimes find myself musing on who I used to think I was. It seems ridiculous in hindsight, but without my obsession, I never would have reached this point.
You do kind of confound and confuse me. A little bit, Max. I'm struggling to kind of remember the journey that we went on together. I know that we got inebriated, let's put it that way, and that I didn't much care for it. Right, right, okay, don't think much of the concierge service. The bellboy has just dumped all of our...
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Oh, so you're warning me that there's something to investigate. Okay, are these just Halcyon Helen's clothes then? Oh, there's a audio log.
Helen, where did we go wrong? Oh, Lo, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for... Helen, I love you. I love you so much.
That must have been Black Hole Bertie. I don't think he's taking the split well. Okay, what else have we got? Magpick, bypass shunters at the terminal. Oh, that's, well, an unexpectedly large crack in the bathroom. And on the walls. What else we got? Fast ration pills. Necklace, some assorted jewellery. I feel like I really am just kind of looting her room now rather than investigating. Right. So, oh yes, there's an awfully large something to investigate. Let's look at the terminal first. Welcome, R. Bellamy. R. Bellamy? Sorry, who's R. Bellamy? Okay, more than one email to nosy through, but this is my favourite part of the job. From Administrator Ludovico. Subject, grateful. Dear Miss H. Helen, thank you for choosing the Eridanos Atmospheric Complex as the site of your next publicity and marketing campaign. By endorsing the Spectrum Brown product, you are allying yourself with a revolution in the leisure beverage market. Indeed, in the culture of Halcyon itself. We're going to change the world together. Sincerely, Quinton Ludovico. And then from Profitability P, subject, disappointed. Helen, I don't understand why you and I must be enemies. Are we not both branches of the same tree of privilege? You command the audiences with your masterly performances on the Aetherwave, and I command the attention of our corporate leaders. We're both cultural icons with a responsibility to set a good example. I am disappointed to discover you've berated my seminars publicly and on official records. I take particular umbrage in your characterization of my most recent seminar, spearheading your project, How to Motivate Your Workforce Using Ancient Weaponry, and I quote, nonsensical vanity project from a dyed-in-the-wool buffoon. These are fighting words. Expect to hear from my personal auditors soon. Sincerely, Profitability, P.O. Money can't buy happiness, and other lies we tell ourselves. A new seminar by the Prophet of Profitability. Coming soon. motivating your employees with ancient weaponry. I think her seminars might be more interesting than they sounded at first. Right, subject, free advice from Mr. Kincannon. Miss Bellamy. To Ruth Bellamy. Why is Ruth Bellamy's emails coming to this terminal? Miss Bellamy, you're a talented actor, and I've enjoyed all your roles across the years. I'm especially fond of your performance in Terror on Monarch, which I personally experienced not too long ago. Ludovico doesn't appreciate the serials. Maybe that's why he never knows when he's been played. He still thinks you're here to endorse Spectrum Brown. Oh, Ruth Bellamy is Halcyon Helen, who is the character. I am a professional investigator. Your performance has him fooled. I have a feeling I know what you're up to. It's always a little disappointing when the audience is a few steps ahead of the plot. Best, Cedric. So she was up to something else. Or rather, he suspected she was. Right, let's use our hacking skills. Let's recover the deleted messages. From unknown client, subject not found. To Ruth Bellamy. Decryption error, message corrupted, memory corrupted, displaying recovered data. Knows the truth, please hurry. Don't know how much longer I can keep. Who is that from? What truth? From a client. Does that just mean the computer client? Guest advisories. Your safety is your responsibility. In light of recent unfortunate events regarding the passing of a beloved cultural icon, we at the Grand Colonial have doubled the number of armed guards for only a small security surcharge. Surcharge is non-refundable. The Grand Colonial is not responsible for the death dismemberment that occurs off hotel grounds. I mean, they're not. And she had wigs. Okay, so Ruth Bellamy wasn't a natural blonde.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Okay, let's investigate the discrepancy.
The imprint left inside this suitcase matches the silhouette of Halcyon Helen's iconic handgun, the Needler. The weapon was recently removed.
Wait, so sorry, she had... So that gun wasn't a prop. That was an actual weapon, the Needler. And it used to be just in her suitcase. And now somebody's taken it. I need a fix. Okay. Right, make a note of that discrepancy amplifier. Anything else? Oh, Felix. Oh, I see. You're really getting into this murder mystery, aren't you? You've got a proper murder board going. Right.
This room ain't so bad. I could get used to this.
I kind of miss the unreliable. This is very grand. I love the ceiling. Love the glass ceiling. It doesn't feel homely or cozy, though. Right. So who's this? This is the prophetess of profitability. This board is covered with a loose collection of photographs and papers. A blank notebook lies open beside a stack of clean papers. It looks like someone intended to write something, but never got started. Right, so... was somebody starting this board before we got here? Did Helen start this? I mean, clearly Helen didn't start this board because she's dead on the floor.